What's going on, YouTube family, man? It's Devon Williams, aka Mr. Clean. Y'all, I'm here today to let you know a little bit about me, where I come from, and where I'm at now. So let's jump right into it. I'm a young black man. By the way, my name is Devon Williams. As you know, I'm 28 years old. I was born and raised in Hampton, Virginia / Newport News, Virginia. Um, I come from a good Christian background family. Granddad had his own church, a real church going family, family oriented. Everything we did as a family, and I loved it. Um, as a young kid, I played football, very good at it. Actually, I was like known throughout the city coming up, man. I had very good potential to be successful at it. And I'll let you know a little bit about that down the line as I get through my story. So I went to church as a kid, come from a single home mother. I have an older brother named David. Um, Later on down the line, my mom ended up getting married to my stepdad, and they had two kids. I have a younger brother, and I have a younger brother, which passed away. Um, his name was Zion. He passed away from Cribs death at a very young age. And at that point is when I can remember my first feeling. Um, I can remember coming home from school, and my mom would normally have been home at the time that me and David came home from school, and she wasn't there. And our guy that used to cut our hair ended up pulling up after like an hour of us being on the porch, like outside the house. And we like, girl, where's my mom? And he's like, they're coming, they're coming, blah, blah, blah. So finally, we get in the house and we're sitting down. My stepdad walks in with the baby's two pair of shoes, but not the baby. So the first thing he asks is like, "Where's Zion at?" And they're like, "He's gone on to be with the Lord." At that point, like I said, that's the first time I can ever remember about the first feeling about something that I've ever had. That it was a hurtful feeling. It was sad and really like unexplainable. So growing up, that was the like most tragic thing that had ever happened in my life. Was that I lost my little brother, and that I was old enough to remember and to know him, and to actually be able to like hold him and be a big brother, and I lost him. I was in the fifth grade at the time, um, and that was hard. I remember seeing my mom struggle. It was hard on her for a while, um, but eventually she got through that situation by the grace of God. I was a great athlete, man. Growing up in Newport News, I played ball. Everybody knew me, man. I was like the class clown in school, man. I wanted to be the center of attention, and I felt like I was that man. I was very popular. Everybody knew me, nice looking young man. Had all the girls, all the things that anybody would want coming up in school, man. I pretty much had. Um, Growing up, man, I grew up in a nice neighborhood. Um, you know, like I said, family oriented family. I mean, good family oriented family. Church going. We went to church Sunday, and like most people, through the rest of the week, man. So I'm not gonna say we were forced to go to church. We were just told to go to church. Because that's all we knew. I hear a lot of people today like, man, yeah, my mom forces us to go to church. I don't believe in forcing kids to go to church. I just believe in installing something in you that works for them, which that's what I'm trying to do today. Install something in you that worked for me, and hopefully that you get something out of it that might work for you. Um, all of everything that I'm going to tell you, or anything that I tell you, is just a suggestion. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what worked for me, and that if it can work for me, it can work for anybody. So, like I said, I grew up in a nice household, nice neighborhood. My godbrother stayed on the back street. Um, the flip side of that was around the corner where my elementary school was a neighborhood called Dresden Drive, where I first seen like drug addicts, dope boys, gangs, all that lifestyle, attractive stuff that potentially attracted me, and something that I thought was me that I wanted. So I can remember going to school, having friends that stayed up in that neighborhood, like, and as much as I could, or me and my brother could, we would want to go up there. That's like everything with the slip, hip, and cool stuff was going on. You know, other than going to church, like, wow, we go to church every day of the week. Like, if I could get up there where they ain't going to church and they having fun, that's where we went. So that's what we like. That's what we wanted to do. Um, so later to come down the line, as I was getting a little older, like my mom let us start hanging out with these people, staying the night over their house. They stayed the night over our house. So if we stayed the night over their house on Saturday, we was able to go to the skating ring, and then they had to stay at our house, and then they had to go to church with us on Sunday. So it was like a give or take with it, you know what I mean? And my mom, and it worked. And you know, my mom, she wasn't real strict on us. She had all boys. She kind of gave us a little bit of leeway. But me being who I was, this curious, addictive personality young man, I took advantage of that. Um, I jumped right in. I joined the gang, the blood gang, in my neighborhood. My neighborhood, I'm from Dresden, was all blood. I joined that, and then potentially started my own, which was called MOB. And that was a clique of boys that we all had grew up together, and we wanted to be like the Bloods and the Crips, but we were blood. We just wanted to have our own organization, and we did. We jumped people. We did all these type of things that hurt other people, and I was kind of like the leader. It's crazy. I was kind of like the leader. So growing up, man, like I had a lot of people following me for all the wrong reasons. I put myself in situations and made myself become this young man that I wasn't raised to be, and never knew why, but now I know why. It was because I was hurt, and I didn't know who I wanted to be, or who I really was. So I was filling a void by hurting others. Um, so yeah, as a kid, I was you know, every time I wasn't at church, I was up the street. You know what I mean? So at 14, my first time getting in trouble, I had got in trouble for beating up this kid up in our neighborhood. We jumped him, and they locked me up one day after school going to the Boys and Girls Club. They locked me up for robbery, simple assault, and aggravated assault. They locked me up out of everybody. It was like 5 months to do it. Locked me up. When they locked me up in juvenile detention in Newport News, they went to my mom's house the next morning, searched it, didn't find anything, etc. I pleaded guilty to a charge and then got on house arrest. Um, at that point, I had kept getting in trouble, going back and forth out of the juvenile system, and then finally the judge was like, if you come back this next time, I'm sending you upstate. So, of course, me thinking I'm slip, hip, and cool, I, at this time, thought that I could sell something, and I went and got some weed, and I was selling it. I got caught with it at school. Um, of course, Devon. I get caught with it at school, go to court for it, and she sends me upstate for 18 and 36 months. I am terrified. But the outer appearance is showing like this tough guy, but on the inside, who I really am, I was hurt, scared, and lonely. I didn't know what to do. And I was just scared for my life. I didn't know, like, you know, how it would feel to be away from my family for such a long time. Let alone my family, my mom. She did everything for us. So I was scared. So through that process, I still had this image, so I had to I had to keep up that image. So I always, like, you know, did stuff to stand out. Like I would start stuff. If you know we was playing car, I would make an argument with a scene so that the guard could come. Just little stuff to kind of like make it seem like I was cool, but then get saved too at the same time. Just crazy stuff. The insanity, man, that I was going through. Like I said, I played ball. I get through that process. I come home. My mom's now staying in Hampton. She's divorced at this time. And I wanted to come home and do the right thing, man. My mom had set me up where I was playing football for Hampton High School, and things were going well. And the lifestyle caught me again, man. So I had stopped going to school, dropped out, and I never got to fulfill my dream. I wanted to be an NFL player, and it didn't work out. So I dropped out of school, and I jumped head first into what I knew, and that was the streets, man. And at this time, it wasn't jumping people, it was shooting people. So and it got me a gun, you know what I mean? Just to be cool. This is the insanity that Devon made himself believe he was. I was like really walking around with a gun. It was crazy. I thought I was like Tony Montana, or like, you know, this gangster guy, you know what I mean? So I'm walking around with a gun, man, and found myself in all type of stuff, man. It was just ridiculous. Um, I skipped the part. Ben had smoking weed and sneaking cigarettes. At this point, I had got introduced to cocaine at a very young age, and I liked it. The first time I had did it, it was like magic, and I'll share with you where I get what I'm going to say, and it's going to make sense to you later on down the line. So I get this line of cocaine. I didn't know what it was. I just knew that everybody was like going hard off of it, which means like if you don't know, like doing this and then going to do some stuff that we thought was cool. Used to call it like putting in work, and I didn't have it in me to do it without it, so I was like, shoot, let's try it. I tried it, liked it, loved it. It was mine. So for years coming up, I had struggled with that, and what comes with drugs is a lot of unnecessary other things: stealing, robbing, uh, trouble, jails, institutions, and death, basically. And that's exactly what happened with me, man. It didn't progress from just cocaine to pills. I didn't want to just speed all the time. I wanted to have a balance. You know what I mean? I got educated right on the drug game, the using game, as far as how to use it and how to balance out speed and downers and make myself what we call a speed walk. Um, start doing pills, whatever, man. And you know, got into a situation at home, and I ended up leaving Virginia, and I went to a small town called Thurl, Pennsylvania, where my dad's from. Where I have a large family that's not church going, that's in the streets, and it was just like what I wanted to do, when I wanted to do it, how I wanted to do it. So I ran from a situation and ran right into another situation that I wanted to be, but it wasn't me. So I get there, and now I'm a little older, I'm a little tougher, and I'm making myself a little tougher, but I'm still doing this cocaine and make myself this person and get these pills. So one day, man, I couldn't find these pills, and I can remember this one old head like, yo, yeah, try this, man. I've been stopped doing pills. They cost too much, man. Like, try this little thing right here. And I was like, what is it? He was like, it's heroin. I'm like, man, heck no. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean, man, that stuff is like, that stuff is what makes people like, nah, he like, you doing pills, it's the same thing, opiates. I'm like, no, it ain't. I'm arguing with this guy. He's like 10 years older than me, and then finally I'm like, you know what, forget it. I do it. Of course, my best thinking tells me to try this. It could have killed me, but I wasn't thinking like that. So I tried it. I liked it. I loved it. It was mine. Um, Not to find out from opiates, from using pills to heroin, I had then created this monster, which is the devil. It was inside me, and it had took a grip of my life. I cannot explain the suffering and the pain I caused my family and to myself for many years to come. I have this little thing I say about what the drug was like to me. It was magic, medicine, misery. So the first time I ever had did these two drugs together, it was like magic. It blew my mind. It was just right, the perfect combination, and I loved it. It was magic. Then as I progressed into doing it every day, my body had became immune to it. Then my body essentially needed it to work. My mind had my body thinking, without that, you're nothing. You can't get out of bed. You can't talk. You can't walk. You can't be who you are. And I couldn't function without it. So it became medicine. I needed this fix every day. Every day I got up, I needed it. I needed it. I needed it. To the point where my life had became a wreck. It was miserable. Magic, medicine, misery. And it was just getting out of control. So December 23rd, 2016, I had just came home from doing like a little stretch of time, like a year. And I had prayed to God, like, I'm not going to do this stuff no more. I'm going to change, the little stuff we do when we get in jail. God, please, if you let me out, I won't do it no more. God, please, if you let me out, I promise you. You know that good line, that good clever talking stuff. Well, I lied. I got home, and this guy called my friend and gave me some dope. some heroin. And I went across the street because I'm like, yo, this ain't enough. Somebody gave me benzo, which is a Xanny bar. So for all those addicts that watch my channel, you know that you were not supposed to mix those things. And if you do and survive, it was a great ride for you. But it can kill you. I did it with my body not having any drug in me and overdose. I didn't shoot it, I snorted it. I wasn't an IV user, I wasn't a crack smoker. I was more of a snorter. Doesn't make me any less, any doesn't make you addicts that watch my show any less than me, and it doesn't make me better than. I'm still an addict, just a recovering addict. And I went out. The people I was with, were going to dump my body. This is the crazy thing about it. It was my cousin's boyfriend. He was going to dump my body in Youngstown. This is what the guy he called who gave me this stuff said. No, we can't take him to the hospital because we're going to get in trouble. He convinced them to believe that. By the grace of God, my cousin got on the phone and was like, drop his body off at the hospital. And that's what happened. They left me there. Long story short, I was out. Out means I was unconscious for 18 hours. Now, for everybody who knows anything about drugs, that is a long time. A lot of times families pull the plug. But my family that knows the God of our understanding knew that he was going to make a way out of no way. And they prayed me right out that hospital. By the grace of God, I had came through, woke up, came to the realization, not the realization, but I came to, and it was a blessing, man. So yeah, I was out for 18 hours. My family prayed, friends and family prayed. The church home, my church home, which is my granddad's church back home, was praying for me, and I came through that situation. Thank God. So after that, I'm telling God, like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it, I'm not gonna do it. My mom and them coming to town, and they're like, look, you gotta figure something out. So I go to rehab. It's my first rehab ever. Go to rehab, man, and I just knew in my mind that I wanted to change. I knew that the way I was living wasn't going to work any longer. So I went to rehab, and they said we have a program for 14 to 21 days. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, that's not enough time for me to be playing. I'm just going to be here, hear what I hear, and go right back out to doing the same thing. So I asked, is there any other program after the program that I could go to further my education and further my knowledge on getting better? And luckily, I had a place called Pyramid in Wilkinsburg, Pittsburgh, PA that accepted me in the 90-day program. I did the 90-day program, and it was a very successful thing. I stayed clean for 10 months, and took my will back from God, just like anybody else, man. Through this process, if you're in Narcotics Anonymous and you do what they suggest, you stay clean. But if you do one of those things that they suggest wrong, or you stop doing it, your chances of relapsing is very high. And that's what I did. I went back out. So I was back out getting high for about 8 months, and I'm back clean today, man. And it was only by the grace of God that I'm clean today, man. And I'm just here to let you know that my channel will be specifically talking about how to recover and to have a balance with God. Recovering in God, staying clean in God. Because if the drug doesn't kill you, the lifestyle will. And I was addicted to both of them. I've been in many situations. I've done plenty of length of time. And I just feel like that this is necessary to have this channel, to be able to get people to reach out to me on my Facebook and just ask questions, and then we'll talk about it. I'll talk about it on YouTube. I do a lot of research. I stay in my literature, so it's a lot of things that I'll be talking about that might pertain to you. Our generation is dying, folks. We are losing people left to right to the lifestyle and to the drug. It's an epidemic, and I'm sick and tired of seeing people die for nothing. Uh, I just seen a case where these two young men went to rob this guy, killed him, and never took anything from him. It's crazy that this is the insanity of where we're at. And the reason I think that is like that is because there's really nothing to do. It's not there's nothing to do. It's this generation is so caught up with this music and this lifestyle that they don't really know what comes with it. So what comes with it, by the time they know what comes with it, they're already in it and they didn't even know. So now that's just what they like to do. I'm here to tell you that there's another way to live. I'm a prime example of a young man that was attracted to the lifestyle that's now found the new way to live with the grace of God on my side. So my stuff will be specifically about recovery and God, man. Just staying in position is the best thing the best advice that I can give anybody is being in position. Because a lot of times your blessings can be right in front of you and you'll walk around them because you're not in position. So I share it all the time on my Facebook, like being in position is very important. Very important. Um, so just for today, I have a great life. I have a job. I'm employable. I've never been employable in my life. I'm a father. I'm a son. I'm a grandson, and I'm an accountable, reliable young man. None of these things would be. None of these things could even happen if it wasn't for Narcotics Anonymous and the grace of God. Um, the blood of God covered over my body the whole time that I was out in the streets and caught up in this addiction. So if I can get through this, then you can too. It's an ongoing journey, an ongoing process. I will always have to keep this balance. I will always have to stay in the middle with the Women Narcotics Anonymous, and I love the Women Narcotics Anonymous. I cannot stress that they have changed my life tremendously. So like, I will just be every day. I will shoot a new video about a topic. I'm never going to share anything that I didn't go through or I haven't been going through with you because I only want to share my experience, strength, and hope. I don't want to talk about nobody else's story. I want to tell you mine and how if there's a problem, there is a solution to the problem. A lot of times, we go through some things and we are so caught up in the grips of whatever we're going through, we don't know how to get to the solution. I'm here to let you know that there is a solution, and if you stay in position, the problem that you had is just only what you had to go through to get to where you're going, if that makes any sense. So God has allowed me to be a vessel to give this word to the world, just to be able to share what I've been through and marinate that in somebody's life. That somebody can hear something I say, one person can hear something I say and be able to save their life. I'm just a young man trying to strive for greatness. I never knew my potential. I never knew my calling, but God let me know something. He said, Devon, you were a great talker when you was in the streets. You could talk anybody out of anything. But now, you realizing that I gave you the ability to talk because you were going to be able to carry the message out to a still sick and suffering addict or a church-going person that goes to church on Sunday and serves the devil Monday through Saturday. I am going to be able to save that person. I'm going to try to save that person to the best of my ability through the grace of God. So, I'm just here to let you know, stay in position, stay focused, stay spiritually, physically, and mentally fit because the blessing is on its way. Like I was saying, I have a job today. I go to the gym today and I make meetings. There's 3 things that's a must for me. I work from 11 to 7. I'm at the gym from 8 to 9:30 every morning, sometimes 9:45. And I'm at a meeting from 10 to 11. And this is how I get my day started every day. Every day, that's the balance that I'm able to have today. I have a routine and it works for me. So the main thing is getting you a routine, finding out what works for you that can keep you busy just enough where you don't have to venture off. Because a lot of times what happens is we have a lot of time on our hand with nothing to do. So we become bored, and we're becoming bored. If you're in your head by yourself, you tend to do the wrong thing. So I have a phrase that I say: treat your head like a bad neighborhood. Stay out of it by yourself. So if you feel like that you're going into a neighborhood that's dangerous, don't go in it by yourself. Right here. A lot of times in the room of Narcotics Anonymous, they say like the disease is waiting for you to mess up right over there. Well, my disease is here. My best thinking got me where I was at. But my best thinking today is going to get me to where I'm going. So like I always say, you got to go through some stuff to get to where you're going. Just stay in position. So every day, I'm going to show you my walk of life. Starting tomorrow, I will be showing you my daily routine from when I get off of work to going to the gym to going to meetings, and then getting home. Every day is going to be my reality and me sharing where I'm at, and hopefully helping somebody to let you know that there is a way out. You do not have to settle for less. You can be the person that you need to be. I'm here to teach you how to learn how to be able to figure out who you are and what you're here for, what your purpose on life is. Majority of the time, I'm going to be talking about the 12 steps and 12 traditions. In another video later down the line, I'll explain to you what those are and that you can apply those to your life and become a better human being in society. You can be a regular person to not a regular person, but it's a productive member of society. Let me say it like that. Um, so, like, yes, man, this is a blessing to be able to stand up and tell you my experience, strength, and hope, where I come from, where I'm at. I have a lot of plans for the future, a lot of things I'm trying to get going for the youth, for recovering addicts, for Christian people that's struggling with addiction or has somebody in their life that's struggling with addiction. And I am fortunate enough to be able to have a platform where I will be sharing and having seminars coming up in the next year or so on the state level um, about addiction recovery and staying clean and having fun through Christ, and then potentially being able to do it on a national level. That's my calling. That's what I want to do, and I'm going to do it no matter what. So thanks for tuning in, man. This is your boy, Devon Williams, Mr. Clean. Check me out tomorrow, man, and we'll be talking about something even better. Have a blessed day.